Good afternoon. My name is Glenn Kirkland, and I am a representative of IKG. And I'm here this afternoon to discuss with you IKG's Egypt on the Potomac field trips. I'm happy to have this opportunity, and I'm so glad that you invited me. But before I talk about the field trips, let me give you a little background about IKG. IKG was begun in 1981 by our executive director, Tony Browder. You see, Browder took a tour of Egypt with the noted Egyptologist Doc Ben back in 1980. When he did that, he was profoundly affected by the tombs, temples, pyramids, obelisks, and other structures he found there. He found their design, the philosophy behind them, the mythology behind them, and the secret meanings that they held to hold powerful information and to have a real profound effect upon him and those who studied them. As a result, in 1981 he created IKG. IKG has as a mission disseminating this type of information to a wide variety of people. IKG does this through its study tours to Egypt, its Wisdom Wednesdays, which are held once a month, its direction of the Ivan Van Sertima cultural circles, and even by its excavating of tombs of 25th dynasty noblemen, which it is currently involved in. IKG also has the Egypt on the Potomac field trips, which I'm going to tell you about now. Well, what about this field trip? The field trip begins at the Thurgood Marshall Center on 12th and R Street. The field trips are held 6 times a year, and they take approximately 3 hours. What happens during the trip? Well, a member of IKG will show you a slide presentation and then direct you to buses on which you will visit various sites around the city, such as the Benjamin Banneker Shrine, Masonic temples, Malcolm X or Meridian Hill Park, and other places. Visiting these places, it will be explained to you how the Founding Fathers saw Egypt, saw the power there along the Nile, and decided to incorporate that here in the capital of the United States, the most powerful country on earth. Founding Fathers either read about it or visited there and were so impressed that they said a civilization that could last 3,000 years using this type of technology and information, if we could duplicate some of that here, perhaps we could be as powerful as they. Turns out, the United States is the most powerful country in the world today. So, why take the tour? Well, I say take the tour because generally when we talk about black history, it's limited to a 300 or 400 year period from enslavement through civil rights, with an occasional inventor or so thrown in. But black people have been on earth for over 250,000 years. That's accepted by worldwide authorities. And yet we know nothing, most of us, about that long stretch of period of time, 250,000 years. We were kings, queens, sure, architects, builders, engineers, accountants, physicians, chemists. We did all that, and yet we learned or know so very little of it. We merely know the cliches. Now, although the trip will not answer all those questions about that entire period of our existence, it will answer some questions, and it will whet your appetite to seek out further information about those periods. Information that is readily available. You see, just like what you will see on this tour, where you will discover secrets hidden in plain sight, so too with our history in general. Our history in general is our secrets hidden in plain sight. In fact, I've heard it said that we are the world's best kept secret. Now, how can you take the tour? You can take the tour by contacting me, Glenn Kirkland, at 301-853-2465 or www.ikg-info.com. Remember to mention Egypt on the Potomac Advocate Glenn Kirkland or Advocate Glenn Kirkland. Also, who should take this tour? In order to really get something out of this tour, I would recommend that family reunions take it. Family reunion is a time where people get together to become closer, to learn more of themselves. What better way to do that than to take a tour such as this and discover what our ancestors created and then what was copied and emulated here in the country in which we live. No better way. Clubs should take the tour. Churches, elders, adults, children, and of course your Masonic orders and fraternities and sororities. The last three being that they can find out origins of many of the symbols that are in their organizations and the meanings behind some of the things in which they do in their organizations. So, how do you take this tour? Well, you can begin again by contacting us and then determining who do you want to go, when do you want them to go, and how many people you want to go. Okay, again, it's held from April through November. There's 6 times a year in which we can set you up to take our tour. It's 3 hours, and again, what you will get on this tour, which began in 1987, and since that time has taken 13,000 people on the trip. Almost all of them have said that this tour has changed them for the better. They have seen themselves in a better light. They have seen our people in a better light. They have seen where we live in a better light. So that's what you can expect to get out of this tour. I will field any questions you may have. And if there are no questions, I want to thank you again for your time. And I'll see you when we are next on Egypt on the Potomac. Thank you very much.